this goes to the people out there who, you know, are Toronto Raptors fans, or shall I say, as of yesterday evening, were Toronto Raptors fans. And, you guys fell for the La Media's, you know, hit pieces on those who are on the enemies list, players who pose a threat to LeBron, you know, guys like Giannis, Kawhi, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, um, soon to be Luka Doncic. You'll see, guys like that. Um, you guys drink the Kool Aid on the media saying stuff like, "Look, and Kawhi is a great player, but at the end of the day, look, this Raptors team been to the conference finals numerous times. They've done a lot before he got there, and now with the emergence of Pascal Siakam, as Kendrick Perkins put it, a top 10 player in the league, the Mongo hungry. You know, all of this hype and hoopla had you guys, man, we gonna do it, man. We gonna show the world. Let me see. With Kawhi last year, you guys won the championship, right? And six in the NBA Finals. So without Kawhi, right, you guys at least made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? At least that far, right? Hmm. Oh boy, victory is so sweet. And speaking of Pascal Siakam, you know, one of the most interesting statistics to show you how overrated he is. Look, last year, playing behind the great Kawhi, he shot 55% from the floor, right? 55% from the floor. And wasn't he the most improved player last year, playing behind the great Kawhi Leonard? This year, as the number one option for the most part. Now, look, some of it is because when you're number one option, you're taking more shots, your efficiency is going to go down anyway. And the defenses are keen specifically against you more and more. So yeah, you're going to shoot a lower percentage, but this is dramatic. Last year he shot almost 55% from the floor. This year he only shot 45.3% from the floor during the regular season. A dramatic drop off. Uh, Last year during that playoff run with Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam shot a respectable 47%. Sometimes he was matched up against, guys that were kind of effective against him. You know what I'm saying? Bigger than him. Or were really good post defenders. And the teams you're playing against are better. But it's still a respectable percentage. This year, he only shot 39.7% from the floor. Awful. And against Boston, it was only 38%. Horrid. Only averaged 14.7 points and 7 rebounds in the Eastern Conference Finals. Pascal Siakam. As I've said before, he's at best a good second option. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I hope this ends this pipe dream about the Raptors ever winning a championship. Oh, this is another thing I want to say. Notice how Pascal Siakam is very limited offensively, right? He's limited offensively. Although he does have a little help with him, around him, right? But wouldn't you argue that he has a little more help than Giannis? Because Giannis really, at this point, only has Chris Middleton. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the pieces around Giannis are getting older. Marc Gasol looks like he's done. Um, Brooke Lopez, is definitely on the downside of his career. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the guys, Eric Bledsoe is has been more or less a bust with the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, George Hill, like these other guys. I'm not saying they didn't play well for most of the year, but they're getting older. He has a kind of a old. His team around him is getting a little older, and I think that showed a little bit this year as opposed to last year. But despite all of that, despite the fact he doesn't really have much around him and any other consistent off-ball threat, right? Um, like as far as a guy that can create his own shot, right? Despite all of that, Giannis still averaged 29 points, 12 rebounds, and probably 5 assists and 2.5 blocks on 55% shooting. Imagine if Giannis was playing with the Raptors, or if he was playing with Miami, where he didn't have another guy. Honestly, I wonder if they should just work out some trade where they trade. If Giannis does leave, what would happen if he got traded to the Raptors straight up for Pascal and somebody else, or a package? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Just goes to show you, you know what I'm saying, the media is very impatient with Giannis. Very impatient. But certain other people, it's just a different story. You know? But anyway, on to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, came out, with fire and passion, and they had an early 12-point lead. Toronto, came back, were up by one, 27-26 after the first quarter, and it was just a back and forth battle, for the most part. But then Boston kind of had like a small lead for most of the second half of the game. And it was like Boston sort of had a lot of things broke their way toward the end of the game. Key plays, key baskets, certain, turnovers Toronto had. And ultimately, the Boston Celtics won 92-87, and they advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for, I believe, the third time in 4 years. The third time in 4 years. So this team is legitimate. You know what I'm saying? And if I had to guess, because I'm assuming Boston has home court advantage. Yeah. If I had to guess, I think this Boston Miami series is going to go down the wire too. I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. But if I had to guess, I think, wow, you know, I mean, it's a difficult series to predict. Um, I think if it's more of a defensive half court battle, you know what I'm saying, a slower pace game or series, um, that would favor Boston. Not saying that Boston can't go up and down, or run up and down court, but what I'm saying, a more faster paced series with Jimmy Butler as their closer, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami won that series. That's just off the top of my head, you know what I'm saying? But that should be a good series. And the fact that Miami has come all the way back. And that's another thing. Do you really notice that nobody in the fucking media credits Pat Riley for being able to rebuild a team in the post LeBron era this fast? Maybe they do on occasion. Okay, maybe they do, but I don't hear it as much as it should be said. You know what I'm saying? The last time the Miami Heat was in the finals was only 2014. So if they were able to get back into the NBA finals for totally retooled and you know, a totally different roster after rebuilding, and then get back to the NBA Finals 6 years later is a remarkable, would be, I should say, a remarkable feat. I mean, shit, it's still the first time that they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals in 6 years. So that's remarkable in itself, you know. But all praise to the Boston Celtics too. Let's see. Jayson Tatum had 29 points, going with 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Jaylen Brown had 21 points and going on with 8 rebounds. Kemba Walker had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. For this series, Jayson Tatum averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, I think over 1 steal, and he shot 42% from 3-point range. So, you know, Jayson Tatum is quickly establishing himself as one of the, or if not one of, how can I say this? He's quickly establishing himself during this playoff run as potentially, depending on you know how this Boston team, uh, you know, the success of this team over the next couple of years. But he's potentially on his way to, you know, perhaps being one of the better Celtic players in the history of this franchise. And I'm careful about that because I don't like hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to sit there and say, "Oh man, you know, he's the next Paul Pierce." We can't say that. We can't say that. You know, he's more athletic than Paul Pierce, but as far as what he's able to accomplish as a Celtic, you know, I don't like hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying. You know, like he has that potential. So, tell me what you guys think.